Looking for that perfect game for your gaming console? Video Game Corner is the largest independently owned video gaming store in North Mississippi, located at 1519 Highway 72 in Corinth. We are an authorized limited-run retail store and have a massive collection of retro games and game systems, and also plush toys and collectibles. We also pay top dollar for your used video games. Check them out Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit Video Game Corner in Corinth.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, as always I'm your host AirsoftAL, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing these inside. Because the fiction I read today is very long, very, very good, and I am so tired, and my eyes are hurting, but viewing the world in red actually does it. Makes it a little bit more easy to not hurt my eyes a little bit. But, what is the fanfiction in question? Well, last time I gave you guys a hint of what I was reviewing, and that is The Leader. Now, a little bit of exposition before we begin on this. I was introduced to this by, of course, Ron the Black Cat, who introduced this to me, and I legitimately have gotten hooked on it. It has updated, but rarely does it update, but at the same time, it's still very good. That's what happens when Tanya essentially takes the place of the funny mustache man in a post-World War I Germany. Throughout the entire story, there's not only, of course, political intrigue, but also using her knowledge to help evolve the world and even creating her version of the European Union, and even pushing the actual threat that is the Soviet Union. However, she also pulls some very much so Cold War false flag operations, even going as far as to help continue a conflict in the United Kingdom between them and Ireland, creating their version of the Vietnam War. This story is good, and it wouldn't be Youjo Senki if Being X wasn't involved. And Being X does in fact get involved in very fun ways. Now, I want to not spoil things, but only a few key factors that makes this a Youjo Senki story, and even point some stuff out that I absolutely love, that was very much so hinted in the manga and the actual story itself. Even talking about the elements that are presented in this. The big element, though, is the political intrigue and the analyst. That's the first and forefront that actually kind of is cool. When the 21st century mind, or at least a modern mind by today's standards, goes back and is reincarnated with the same memories and all in a post-war Germany, maybe a year or two after, that knows the stock market crash is coming, prepares for it, and goes further than that, actually understands it, using the elements that they know to their advantage, which is why Tanya is able to become the first female president of the Republic, or at least the Weimar Republic, I believe, what post-war Germany was called, basically the German Republic, and gained substantial power, even creating the security net which Roosevelt, or FDR in this world, does know and likes the idea of, even though the bastard's a Democrat. What I will say is that the political intrigue itself and even the political maneuvering is the cool part, because she's walking a fine line and pushes the communist threat, knowing that sooner or later war is coming with them, even tricking an Albert Einstein into helping create the atomic bomb, because she lies to him and tells him that the Soviets are creating an atomic bomb. And I would go further into that, but I'm not. The other element itself is she's trying to create, of course, modern-day attack craft. Jet fighters, jet bombers, attack helicopters, transport choppers. Again, the stuff itself is cool, and I absolutely do love it. But the big thing is the political maneuvering between Britain and France. France even going as far as to get into a civil war and become a religious dictatorship of sorts. Again, I say of sorts because it kind of depends on your interpretation of it. In my opinion, religious dictatorship. And then, of course, Britain is in their own Vietnam or Iraq, depending on how you want to look at their situation, with, of course, the European Union, or at least Tanya's European Union, supplying Ireland with arms and equipment to help them fight against the British, even going as far as using said equipment to destroy the royal family, or at least attempt to. Whether or not that's successful, I leave to you to read in the pinned comment. But what I will say is that the story itself also explores the deeper aspects of Tanya. Tanya herself, while being a very much so political leader, uses propaganda heavily, or at least attempts to, use what she knows to twist the minds of the citizenry. Even when the communists attack, or at least not indirectly, mind you, through terrorist actions, she gives a war speech, saying that she loves war. And it's beautiful. And yes, it is a bit of Helsing, but it's still good. Not only that, but her and basically her lieutenant, does have a relationship behind closed doors. While in public, she is, of course, an ambassador and an assistant to her. And there are times, of course, where she does enact emergency powers. She does pull a little bit of Palpatine, and even states that once the crisis is over, will she release her emergency powers, getting full support from her people and the civilian government, the minority that it is. Again, the story itself is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. However, there are those of weaker skin and thinner stuff that apparently find the abuse, the violence, some hints of domestic abuse, oh so pearl-clenching, and oh, I do declare. I live for this shit. It's character development. It enhances the characters, and to what I say of it, well, I will say this. Tanya is not a socialist. She is not a fascist. She is a realist. She is, in a sense, creating a military republic. And while, yes, some of her actions are underhanded, she does what she does for the people.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
I love Star Wars. I really do. But, either way though, thank you all so very much for watching. I know I didn't really go too deep into this one, but I want you guys to read this yourself. It is so good, and the setup is already perfect. And again, as always, in the pinned comment is where you can read this one. And to the author who may be watching, join the Discord with other authors who I've reviewed, and let's talk. And, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL. If you want to help support the channel, consider donating to the PayPal down below. And if you want to help me directly, I have an Amazon account now. Contact me directly if you want to learn how to do that. But, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL. And really thinking about it, I haven't given Youjo Senki any love. And there are some legitimately good Youjo Senki fanfictions. Why not do that? But, till then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I'll leave the next fanfiction as a surprise. Till next time.